So we'll call the meeting to order. And do we want to do a roll call?
Yeah, I can.
Yes, please.
Melinda,
Present.
Scott, Terry,
Yes.
Sadie here, and Angelica.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Item number 3, approval of the minutes for the meeting held on 10/16/24. Did you guys have a chance to look over those?
I move that we approve the minutes from the October 16th meeting.
Second.
Okay. Melinda,
Yes.
Scott, here. Terry,
Yes.
Sadie, yes. Angelica.
Yes.
I did that completely backwards.
All right. Okay, so discussion on the financial report for the month of October. We don't have to approve this, is that right?
Correct.
No, we do tonight.
Oh, we do
I was gonna
tonight.
say,
It got by me,
Oh,
because it does say discussion action,
Okay.
so
But I was like, last time we talked about not doing it.
No, that's my fault, it got by me.
So, okay, yep. Other comments on this report? Any questions?
I move that we approve the financial statements for the month of October.
1 second.
Second. Angelica,
Yes.
me, yes. Terry,
Yes.
Melinda.
Yes. Okay. All right. So the next order of business is reports from staff. You have anything to talk about on that? Reports from staff?
Do you have anything on?
Please quit calling about the trash service.
That's not our thing.
Now, we had a good city council meeting, just 2 days ago, so, we had to change our retirement system, got approved, and, that all went well, so, it was actually a lot faster meeting than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah.
So, I thought it was gonna be a marathon, but thank goodness it wasn't. And I'll let the finance director, who should vote yes on approving the financials, since she did them, brief the hotel tax.
So for November, we were really up in October. Most of our people, I believe, report quarterly, plus we had a big car show. They did have a blurb. City Economics was here, and he said it was up. The car show, I forget how much. I'll have to go back and rewatch it. But he said the attendance of people coming in was very high.
Over 7,000 people, if I remember right.
It was a very good number. He said it was up from the year before. So November sales tax it's not on there yet, of course, but we have received it, and it was like 9,800.
Hotel tax, not sales tax.
Sorry, hotel tax. I keep saying sales tax. Hotel tax.
We know what you mean.
95, 9,800. But again, most only report quarterly.
Yeah.
And we didn't really have any events in October, so I expect it to jump back up in January when the quarterly reports come back through. But other than that, everything is going through the chambers, getting their system down for reimbursements for the events that we're funding. So we're getting caught up and everything. Yeah, everything's been pretty routine. So
Okay.
So it seems like our cadence is gonna be that we have a few lighter months and then a heavy month.
And then a heavy month,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, that's good good for us to know.
Yeah.
As
I agree.
as we watch the cash flow.
Yeah.
Um,
And normally I can expect a deposit from the state around anywhere between the 9th and the 11th, depending on how it falls. So we usually get it pretty early in the morning, so if anybody, or in the month, so if somebody wants to know what we got before the meeting, you can just shoot me an email and I can usually let you know.
Do you know where we're at in comparison to like this time last year? Like as far as, that would be something I would.
Yeah, that would be something I
I
was
can pull that report and send it to you guys and show you. I don't have it on there, but yeah, I have all that data. I can show you guys. So let me write that.
I think that would be good, especially like as we're rounding out the year.
Yeah.
Just to see where we are versus last year. And then next year will be really a better comparison because
Yeah.
we've had the Oklahoma Tax Commission, collecting for
Almost
us
for a full year.
And-
They started in March this year, right?
March,
May.
May. So, but I think we'll be able to tell better next year,
Right.
how that's going.
Yeah.
And then, we have to factor in the increase
Yeah.
in the tax, but I think we ought to be able to get kind of an apples to apples comparison, so.
Once the hotel tax increase does take effect, we will have to do a budget amendment because should be more revenue coming in than we budgeted.
Yeah,
Hopefully that's the case, but I want to kind of see how that trends before I write one up
Yep.
because I kind of want to see the way it's
Yeah,
trending.
we can wait till May or June
Yeah.
to do that budget.
But we
We
will
can,
have
okay.
to do one. So
I knew we would have to do one,
Yeah.
I thought it might be in January.
if we don't have to do one, I'll be very surprised.
Yeah,
So
okay. Any other questions for the staff? Okay, so the next item on the agenda is the Alva Battle 2025. Justin and Debbie, take it away. So, thank you for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Alright, so 2025 gonna be here pretty soon. Another bull riding lined up and a couple different changes that we're gonna have for this year. Saturday we're going to a bull team event. That's gonna be the new addition for this year. It's gonna bring in more people, 20 different stock contractors all in one day. They're competing with their bulls, so that's going to mean more hotel rooms used. And it's a bring your own rider, so they're the ones in charge of making sure that they have their own jockeys, so that could be potentially even more rooms used. But other than that, everything else is staying pretty well the same. We're going to have just an open bull riding on Friday night to kick things off. And then our youth bull riding will be at 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock, whichever, 12 o'clock on Saturday afternoon.
You guys have questions for Justin?
I have one question. You did say that most of it will be compiled of Alva spectators. Roughly how many do you think will come as like the stock contractors and bull riders that are coming from outside of Alva to stay? How many do you think possibly?
Okay, well we're going to have, hopefully, a set of 40 different bull riders on Friday night. It'll be a totally different set of 40 bull riders on Saturday night, which in the past it's been the same guys for both days. So
Okay.
now we're up to 80 instead of just
Okay.
40. It'll be 5 different contractors on Friday night. There'll be 20 for Saturday. And then you've got the 2 guys that bring the mini bulls as well. The kids' entries have been fluctuating anywhere between 40 and 60 each year.
Do we know how many of those are local contestants versus out-of-town contestants?
As for youth, I think there's a handful. There's not a whole bunch, but I think there's a handful. There's been 2 or 3 out of Cherokee, it seems like, every year, and 1 or 2 from Alva. I know both of my boys enter. So
Or that's mostly a local? Yeah,
So
that's what I'm asking.
what about for the contestants then? Do you probably know, like,
I
what was
won't.
last year?
I don't think there's any local bull riders last year. I think that everybody was from out of town.
Okay, and so then we're doubling the amount of riders this year.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I have a question. It has a 2-day admissions. That's what people pay to get in to see it. Is that what that is on your revenue?
Yes, that's the total.
Okay, are there entry fees of any sort?
Yes.
'Cause I don't.
Oh yeah, that's not listed on here.
I don't see
So
those on there.
that is included in that bull rider payout. So how I did that a couple of years ago, and you guys had me change it, I had the entries over on the revenue side, their entry fee money, and then it turned around and paid out in the expenses. And you guys had me eliminate it from the revenue. So I just included it all in the payout.
So that's the net.
So
Yes.
it should be in both. Yeah, it should be avoided off.
No, what he's saying is he took the revenue that they're gonna get in for the bull riders, subtracted out the payout, and what's in the expense column is what's left.
Okay.
Is that, am I understanding correctly?
So the payout for the bull riders would be
It's a $10,000
Yeah.
expense. After,
70,000 or something. Well, not 70, say like, okay, so.
How much is the entry fee
It's
for?
$100
Oh,
per
okay.
guy.
So
Per
that's
guy.
more
There's-
like 800, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you've basically $8,000
Yes.
in entry fees.
Yes.
Okay. Because it looks like you have a kind of a big deficit. Like when you take what you're asking for and how much the balance is, like how are you gonna cover that?
That is all brought through our sponsorship money.
Okay.
What we go out and ask the community for sponsor money.
Well, I mean, it looks like,
Well, you have a deficit of 52,650.
yeah,
After your revenues and, you know, what you've requested from us. So how do you cover that negative $52,000?
Well, like I said, how I put this together was how you had me do it a couple years ago. So moving that around, I actually have the added money, the bull rider payout. True number is actually 18,500. So you subtract the 8,000 out of the 2 days of entries. We're at 10,500 actually is what we are at. The bull team payout is 25,000 instead of 23.
so what
This-
you're taking out the revenue that would create some of that,
Yes.
or offset some of that deficit.
Yes. Yes.
Is so that money sounds like before I was maybe on the board, we had them, instead of showing revenue for I just want to make sure I'm understanding, revenue for the entry fees
Mhm.
in the revenue column, and then the expenses, total expenses in the expenses column. And so now that's all in the expenses column, so that revenue isn't sitting there. So part
It's
of
not
that
showing.
is not showing.
yeah.
So if I added it right, the expense column now totals 59,150 of expenses, not 97,650. I don't know why the requested money is listed in the expense column though.
That's, I mean, that's,
So to show the totals.
those are all expenses.
Just
so
use the
it's-
totals, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you need to get that. So the expenses would really be 62,650, yes?
Yeah, I need to make sure I didn't miss one. Yeah, 62,650. I missed one of the 3,500s.
So 62,650 are the actual expenses. And then it looks like over here in the revenues column, you have 45,000.
It's really the deficit is only 17,650.
And then, but you're asking us for 35. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, are we missing anything?
No.
Okay, so I don't think, we're not able to award money to make this a profitable event. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, not that you can't have some profit, I'm not saying that, but to me, that's what it looks like. You're asking for almost twice as much money as make it break even. Is that what you're saying too? So,
Well, so you're coming up with the 62,650. You've eliminated $35,000, what is being requested.
right,
Yeah, but
I-
that's not an
that's-
expense.
but that's not an expense.
That's revenue.
I guess I see how you're figuring that in now.
Yeah,
But I mean, either way, that's an expense for us in order to put this event on. That money, I mean, it's being paid out. we're not making it. It's being.
Yeah, we're paying some of the expenses.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, so it's still technically revenue income that's paying for an expense. So it's not technically an expense.
Same thing as the
'Cause
entry fees on bull riders. It comes in. but
And now,
it
if you were
goes
giving
back
us 35,000, that would be an expense on your side.
on your side, yes. So, and I think you have more revenue this year because you're having more different contestants on the 2 nights. I think that's the difference. Probably from, I mean, I didn't look at last year's application, but that's what I'm gonna guess, is that since you're having
80 versus
80
40.
versus 40, you've got more people paying the entry fee.
I think it's a great event, and
Yeah.
I'd love to fund it, but I think this needs to be more succinct. I mean, it needs to be where I don't feel like we can fund it with these numbers. I think they just need to be cleaned up. And I would love to see that. That's kind of
Yeah,
my,
before we voted on it.
before I vote on it, yes. You know, I think it's a great event. and-
Yeah, we're not trying to like
Be mean.
be mean
No.
or about it or anything. I mean, we want you to be able to do this, but we have to be good stewards of these funds.
Yes.
And so, you know, we want to make sure that what we have in our application is correct. And you're not the only person that we've ever
Yeah.
had
No.
have come back the next month with a different,
Mhm.
you know. So, and the lucky thing about it is this isn't until April. So
Yeah,
we've
you
got
still
plenty
have
of
loads of
time
time.
to, you know, whether it's December or January that you come back to us. You know, I think we just like to, I mean, I would like for you to put all of the revenue, including the entry fees and everything in the revenue column. And all of the expenses, even though the payout is 18,000 whatever, in
Go ahead, the true payout.
The true payout in the expenses column, and then see what we really need to fund, because we want you to have this event. It's a great event.
Because I understand, okay, your contract labor and your back pens, they're not in this, right? You're just counting it as this requested money. It needs to
To still be
say
in there.
contract labor and back pens here, and then over for the 35, those
And then the
I just
requested
took it
amount.
as what this entire show. This is what it costs.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's how I included
Okay.
that. in
Yes.
there. So that
Yes.
our
Yeah,
entire
these two,
show
and
costs
then
that.
you're asking for 35,000, and then you leave that there, and that's what we're trying to, that's what you're asking the money for, but it just, when it says it's requested money, we know what I understand what you're requesting the
I
money
do too.
for,
Yep.
but it just needs to
It
be,
needs to be broken
clear.
out.
Yeah.
yeah,
So
monthly.
I just need to revise.
And you know what, Justin, if you want to get with one of us, or with Sadie, or with Megan and, you know, Jody at the chamber,
We'll help you.
we can help you clean this up so that it looks, so that it shows it easily for us to be able to decipher.
Okay.
So that's,
Because, yeah, I just realized that these two
these
are
two
not
are,
even in this
yeah.
expense, so they are
That's-
expenses, so
that's-
what
See,
he was
and I
saying.
get what
that's
Bruce-
why he has the
I
expense.
get
Yes.
what now he's saying.
Yes.
I was just thinking that's what he's requesting. That's the revenue, not
Yes.
the two
Yeah.
over here,
So I
but
totally
it just
get
needs to be
But
broken
it just needs
out.
to be
Yeah,
cleaned up a little.
yeah. So can we have you work on this and come back to us?
We meet in
No,
December.
we meet on December the
18th.
18th,
Okay.
week before Christmas.
When does it need to be in by?
The week prior.
The week prior.
By Friday. And just email it to Megan and she will get it into, because she'll post the agenda Friday by 5.
Okay.
So, yeah, if you could have it to her sometime earlier in the day on Friday.
And if
that
you
would be
need
great.
help, come down to City Hall and I'll help you.
Yep. But first of all, we really love this event. We
Yep.
appreciate you
Yes.
guys working on it. We're, so anyway, but we need to make sure that it's easily understandable when someone wants to look at this. So,
Sounds good.
anyway. Okay, so we'll see you
Okay.
next
December.
month.
Sounds
Yeah,
good.
happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you for coming in.
Do we need to make a motion to table it to next month?
I've got to get Megan to break these out. We can't put two in one
No.
agenda item, because now it makes it tough. So, yeah, we have to, I think you wait until you hear about the car show.
Okay, and then we'll
And
just
then
do
that
one
motion-
big
One
You make the motion to table the bull battle.
till December and then whatever we
whatever the
decide on.
decision is.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
yep, that's what we'll do. So, okay, so, next up is the Crazy Cool Boulevard Cruise, and we would love to hear from you guys.
Well, we'd love to talk to you because
Yes.
we think we can give you one of those heavy payout months
That's awesome.
that you were talking about.
So,
So this, we were here before to talk, I was here before with the Gold Bug deal,
yes,
and this ties directly into it. Same deal. We're just expanding it because there's going to be so many people in Alva. We think that it will be car show-like numbers. And probably people from a lot further away. And by the way, it's Ronnie Steffens over here.
Sorry.
And this is Katie Frenton. Katie is the new president of the car club. And Ronnie is the co-event director for the car show and stuff. And anyway,
welcome.
we're basically, the only thing we're doing different is expanding the amount of bands. Because we want to have 5 bands out in the area that weekend is our plan. We've already talked to places we can put them that we've never had bands before. That way different groups of people from the reunion can go, they can say, okay, we're going to be at this place, or we're going to be at that place with the rest of the group, besides the regular crowd that we bring in.
Okay,
So that is the purpose of this. When you get done deciding about this, and Katie also brought some information about the car show to give her car show report.
okay. You guys have questions for the race members?
Cindy, what did you say that we contributed last year?
3,700 last year.
Yeah, this will be the,
Okay.
if we do this will be the
Sorry.
10th year we have done this, but we plan to do, the plan is to do it with the Gold Bug reunion every 5 years, have it be a really big deal. We also think there will be a lot of carryover, because this will expose a whole new group of people to the cruise night.
Yes.
So people who have a tie into Alva will come back during that weekend, in the future, go, hey, that's a good weekend to come visit Cousin Joe, so.
We love cruise night. It's really
Yeah.
Do you know how many people outside of it being like the reunion come from other towns to do the cruise, the little cruise?
We do not know how many people come exactly. We do know they come from Kansas, some from Texas. People, as every year gets a little bit bigger, as people try it and go, oh, well, that's really a fun time. So
I met some college kids at it this last summer who didn't know what was going on, but they saw a bunch of cars, and they came out and hung out and had a really good time. But they had never heard of it, so
Yeah. Yeah,
they'll be back next year.
so, but we do not, and it is spread out so far, I do not know that it can be tracked,
Yeah.
because there's people from one end to the other.
It's a busy night.
It's a
in
busy
Alva.
night.
It's a busy night.
And, that's gonna be a really busy weekend.
I can hear them from my house. So,
Until early in the morning.
Other questions for the race folks?
Are you guys doing any joint advertising with the reunion, or is it separate advertising?
It will tie in together. It will, Katie hasn't designed it yet. She does a lot of designing for us now, but it will tie into the reunion also.
I only asked because we funded them last month to do advertising, and then you're requesting advertising, so I just didn't know if we're doubling money to do two, one or two when they requested it and you're requesting it.
Their money though was for mailers.
That's what I'm just.
Yeah,
for sure.
no, ours
Okay,
is
yeah,
for,
okay.
ours is for
For your
newsgram
okay.
and radio
I
and
just
stuff,
wanted to make
yeah.
sure with that it wasn't.
Right,
like
no,
a
it's a very good
joint.
question,
Okay.
but they are
Your
not.
list is different than the
Their
other
list,
nine.
okay.
Yeah, theirs is to target reunion people, ours is to target the general public.
Okay.
Race people, yeah. Perfect. The cruise people. So, other questions? Okay. You have a question?
Well, it's a very large percent, 67% of the total, and that's something we've been discussing
Yeah.
as a group. It's really more than we want to fund of any event. So I would put that out. We've also, how much should we give to the reunion group? Is it
Can you pull that up, Steve?
We looked
off
at-
the agenda?
I looked at that this
I
afternoon.
did too, and
It was
I
just-
around
I
just
It was
scanned over.
10,000.
10,000, that's
Yeah.
right. None of which goes,
10,888.
none of
is what
which
it was.
goes to
Yes,
this
it was,
whatsoever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a very hard, I can tell you that every year the car club pays money out to do this event because it's not a multi-day thing. It's not really something, it's not really something you go out and get sponsorship easily for.
Right.
It's not a contained crowd. It's just a large public event.
Yeah.
And so it's,
It is, but it's money we've already spent to a captive audience. We've already spent the money for part of that.
For the.
And I'm not saying don't fund it at
No, no.
all. But I just,
Yeah,
for us to consider.
it's a large, it's
We-
larger.
it is larger, you're right, we are making it larger, but we want those people in 5 years to go, we're going
Oh,
back
yeah,
for
yeah,
that.
Good time, and I was,
Good
and
time.
I, like I said, I get that.
We want that, we want to blow their socks off, just,
On your application, it said that in a previous year, have you requested money from the tourism committee before?
Mhm.
We know that's a yes. But it said 9 years, 3,500 to 7,000.
yep, we've got different amounts.
What was the 7,000 that we did before? Do you remember that, Marble?
It was also for multiple bands and just increased advertising when we were trying to get the event over the hump.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so, yes, we have done up to 7 when I look back through the records.
Okay.
And here's a suggestion too, if they want to do this in conjunction every 5 years with the fall school,
Yes.
maybe they work together and come back as one request going forward, not talking about
Perhaps,
today,
yes.
but as an,
Especially with like that,
Except-
advertising.
except it's,
when it kind of over.
it's
I know
two different lists though,
different.
I see why
I
they're
don't know.
coming.
Yeah, because
You
And I know
know,
we've just talked about funding 2 events on the same weekend to do when you're already,
yeah,
But it does make
But-
it
but
bigger
we have-
and better,
It
and the
does.
people
Yeah.
are more likely to come back in
Yeah.
5 years
Yeah.
for the next one. I mean, like I
Exactly.
said, there's, pros and cons to all of
Yes.
that, but
really none of the reunion, all of the reunion stuff will go through the Gold Bug Foundation.
Yeah.
They will be the ones funding during that time. They really won't fund any of this. It will be a whole different group of people doing it and putting it on. I'm really the only overlapping member, and really just because of this event here,
okay.
to try to coordinate them together.
Well, thank you for being involved.
Yes.
We're really glad. So, but I think that also is kind of why it's a little bit confusing because,
Yeah.
we just want to make sure that we're
Oh, yeah.
Again, be good
I-
stewards.
being
and-
good
Excellent, I mean,
stewards,
just
so-
like the advertising, yeah, you wanna make sure it's not overlapping
Right.
and doing the same thing.
And advertising, not cheap.
No,
And also the bands have gotten more expensive as well.
yeah, and we think we get bands a lot cheaper than a lot of people, I mean, getting that many bands in here for that kind of money is,
Well, and you're planning far in advance too.
Yeah.
That's, that helps also, just
Yeah.
the price. So, okay, do I have a motion on this?
Well, I think we have to do one big motion.
Yeah. So,
The motion to,
on item 6,
Okay.
do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to table Alva Bulls Battle 2025 for the December meeting to allow them to adjust and clean up their funds request. And I'll make a motion on item 6 to approve the Crazy Cool Boulevard Cruise 2025 to not exceed $7,100.
Do we have a second?
I hope I said that right.
Good job.
I'd say my biggest concern, I know I have to either second or not second, I'm the percentage of,
yes,
And then we can let it die and adjust the amount.
yeah.
Okay, so the motion
The original motion died.
dies for a lack of a second. Okay, so go again, Sadie.
Well, I need somebody to whoever they want, they have to.
I cannot remember the specifics, we were talking like 35%?
45.
45.
45%, okay, I knew it was, I would be more comfortable if we kept it within those.
4756 is 45%.
47.56.
I would,
Make me more comfortable.
that would make me a lot more comfortable, trying to keep, I know we haven't,
I mean, we've talked about this and it was kind of a consensus, I felt like. I mean, I know we haven't put it into writing, but.
I think we're going to
something-
do that next month,
Okay.
though, so. Okay,
Okay,
so,
so-
sorry that you guys are having to stand.
that's quite all right, that's quite
While
all
we figure
right.
this out, so.
Do you want to make the motion?
okay, so I make the motion to table the Alva Bowl battle request and have it brought back to the next meeting and approve Alva's Crazy Car Boulevard Cruise 2025 for $4,750.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Angelica,
Yes.
Parsons,
Aye.
Melinda,
All right,
Beer, aye.
okay,
Okay.
okay, awesome. All right, Katie, bring us the information,
Give
we're
you a little
excited.
overview of the car show.
I got a little preview of this yesterday, so
You
I'm
guys
excited to.
brought up that there were over 7,000 people downtown that weekend, which I think we got rained out on Sunday, so if we had Sunday's events, it probably would have been even higher than that. But we had 393 people register, and then we had 141 of those people pre-registered online because we've been working on our social media and our website a lot. And
How many?
the pre-registered
Yeah.
people? Oh, 141.
That's what I thought you said.
Yep. And then I was doing some stuff with all of our information that we get from those people. We had people travel over 16,000 miles total to come here, and they came from 6 different states. I don't know, what else do we want to talk about?
I mean, we also had rain, start at 7 o'clock Saturday, where a lot of people started to fan out. But as soon as we started to kick off our burnout contest on a win decision, everybody flooded back in. I mean, it was like the rain just turned off.
I heard a lot of great things about the drone show. I thought it was
Yeah.
canceled, so we didn't come down,
Yeah.
but I heard a lot of good things about the
I heard a
the
lot of
drone show.
Spectacular, I think.
Yeah, so hopefully next year we'll make it down there.
And it won't be lightning and
Yeah.
Yeah.
pouring rain.
It's either going to be 100 degrees or it's going to be raining.
My son came home, he was drenched.
Yeah.
So. But he had a great time. So.
After the first 10 minutes of being wet,
Yeah,
it all
you're just
goes
good,
away.
yeah, so.
And if you want some information on what we've been doing with our marketing and stuff, we're reaching almost 200,000 people from our Facebook page, and then around 7,000 with our Instagram, but we just started using that in September because I had just figured out how to get back into it.
Yeah.
Someone else had it and I didn't. And then the website by itself, we're hitting around 32,000 people. So it's growing. We're getting a lot more information out there to different people. So I think we can make it bigger every year the more we keep working on it. That's really all I have.
You have a new
Yes,
sponsor.
it's a great event.
Oh, we do have a new sponsor. We have Jeff Bryan Chevrolet has offered to sponsor the show. So he'll be our main sponsor in 2025, and he's signed a 5-year contract, so he'll be doing that for the next 5 years, which will be very helpful. And then we
I
did
think
have,
that's really exciting for you guys.
we got a lot of new sponsors
Yes.
last
yeah,
year.
last
too.
year I
We
think
had-
we have almost 18 different sponsors,
Nice.
new sponsors.
We've been working.
Yeah.
Yeah, people talk about it all over.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
a
yeah.
great event.
Yeah, I go to events all over Oklahoma, Kansas, and if I wear a big cruising car show, I get at least one person that's like, I've been to that event, and I'm like, where are you from? They say Kansas, New Mexico, Arkansas, all over the place, and people are like, I've heard of that event, and I'm flabbergasted that little Alva can really, make that kind of reach. So,
And we did have someone from Iowa
yeah,
this year
yep.
also.
That's really cool.
A long ways away.
Well, thank you guys very much for
Well,
coming.
thank you. Without the committee, it couldn't happen.
We are so proud of the work that Race has done, and it's just, thank you for I know it's volunteer hours for you guys, so thank you so much. So,
Thank you.
and thank you for standing there while we got our stuff.
Totally fine.
Anyway, okay. Number 7, remarks and inquiries from committee members. I think we'd like to probably get our new guidelines set up next month, so we need to probably figure that out if you want to get together sometime.
And I would say, I will not be able to be here if we have it on December 18th. I have surgery that morning, so
Oh,
I will
Oh,
not.
suck it up.
I'll come, and I'll make great decisions. But,
you won't be taking anything for the pain or anything like
Right,
that.
right.
Yeah.
so, and I know the next week is Christmas, so I don't have to be a part of it. I just wanted to put that out there that I
Okay.
will be at the meeting, so.
Okay. Anything else from anybody? Okay. Any remarks or inquiries from the citizens that are here? Okay, well then I move it.
Hey, I'll go.
Go ahead, Norm.
Okay.
You talk.
And we thank you very much for the funding. But in the future, I think if you make it a solid line in the sand, you're going to limit yourself on some things. I can see events that will come up that they are not going to meet your 40% requirement when they're starting out. Just a lot of things this committee has not done that, like when we did things actually with the city, maybe with the firemen building their new fire deal or the gun range or things like that. they wouldn't have happened if we had drawn a line in the sand at 40-some%. So that was just my observation.
Thank you. Anything else? All right, it's 6:10 and let's adjourn the meeting.